I think for the Chiefs, I think it's a pretty good draw, man. I don't think it's that bad. I also would say I think there's a world they come out and beat Denver out of the bye. They might not lose a game after the bye week.
It's that football show here on KC Sports Network. Tucker Franklin hanging out with Matt Verderame. Thank you to our partners, Ben Holiday, Bottled in Bond Bourbon. We are here. We are talking NFL schedule. We've got some NFL news going on, and we're going to talk to you about all of it on this here podcast. Last time we were here, I feel like, Matt, we could have been in a worse mood than what we are now. All things considered with the Chiefs schedule, I think we were in a worse mood. I think things maybe a little bit better than what we anticipated. But Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yep, the schedule, we'll get into it. You and I were both outraged at our holidays were just completely ruined by having to watch them and then just scream at them for 3 hours. That being said, doing well. I appreciate everybody who watched the last show. And I don't always read the comments, but I actually did. I was like, I'll try to tune it.
There you go.
I enjoyed it. Everybody was very funny. Somebody called me a crybaby, which I appreciated that. Say that to my face. I had a good time with it. It was fun. It was funny to see people in the comments, like their thoughts on Thanksgiving and Christmas and all that stuff. I actually think the Chiefs should be pretty happy with their schedule, but we'll dive into all that.
Yeah, it is interesting. A lot of people, I got a lot of comments on your Dak Prescott impersonation. People loving the Dak Prescott. Here we go.
I got DM'd by people over that.
Yeah, people loving it.
But it's, honestly, I don't remember him doing it until like 2 years ago.
No, right.
And I turned on, whatever game it was, and he was doing it. And, a lot of times, like Mahomes will have the same cadence, and like Alex Smith used to have the same thing. I can't remember exactly what he did, but it was like he would do the same thing and then he'd go. But then there would be times throughout the game that like they would change it up.
Yeah.
If you watch the Cowboys when Dak's on the field, he yells, "Here we go!" and then he just snaps the ball. If I was a defensive lineman, I feel like that would be the easiest thing in the world to jump on. Like, there's never a hard count.
Right.
He just yells, "Here we go," and snaps the ball. And I don't know what it is about it. I hate listening to it.
Mm-hmm.
It just annoys me to know. I will listen to the Thanksgiving Day game on mute. I promise you. I will not. It will drive me insane. If it was at Arrowhead, I'd probably just deal with it and listen to the sound. But I'm like, nah, I'm good. It's in Dallas. It's a bunch of people who know the team's going to lose anyway. Like, it's depressing.
It's on Fox.
CBS, I believe. I believe it's on CBS.
Okay.
Could double check me on that one. I'm like 90% sure I think it was a Nance Romo, which is the other reason. Like, it's Romo with the Cowboys on CBS.
Yeah, and I also kind of just like assumes I just did like a little word association, Cowboys and Fox, just all like popped into my head at the same time. CBS. Okay. Did you see that the Fox asked for less Cowboy games this year?
No, but I believe it.
Yeah, Fox said we don't want as many Cowboy games this year. I think that was per awful announcing. Had that out there. Also, they don't have their full preseason schedule out. The Chiefs don't. As I'm looking at it right now on their website.
No, they don't. You're right.
They only have two against the Cardinals. Well, that's not and the Bears. Never mind. I lied. The Cardinals, Seahawks, and Bears. It was bolded. It was mixed in with a bunch of other stuff. Sorry. Cardinals, Seahawks, Bears.
Right, I've only seen the Bears. Okay, that's fine.
Yep, on their website. I guess they don't have a dates down for those.
Oh, that might be why.
But they have the teams.
August 22nd. Okay.
Yep.
That game's at Arrowhead. That would be the only preseason game at Arrowhead because when you have the 9 at home during the regular season, you have one, which I'm sure the Chiefs are more than happy to make that trade.
Seahawks and Cardinals is interesting preseason because it usually feels like they like to keep it somewhat close.
Yeah, regional. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Clark tried to get those games played in like Rio de Janeiro. Yeah. Can we play one of those games on July 4th in Bangladesh? What do you think, Raj?
Shanghai?
Could we be the first team to play in Antarctica?
Is Bangkok busy this time of year?
Can we jam a Chiefs Kingdom flag in the side of a glacier?
If there's any left.
Yeah, right. After we've melted it down because we just can't stop as a society. Can we play in like Iceland? Reykjavik. But what the hell? Just launch it. Put a game up there. That'll be when the NFL fully jumps the shark. Is when we get a game in like Turkey in June. It's a little preseason game, like Chiefs training camp in Siberia.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to sell tickets. People are going to take like a 5-hour train ride from Moscow, just in the middle of nowhere to get there.
That's the next step. I think you're right. It's like, yeah, they do training camp in St. Joe. That's all nice and cute. Yeah, but what if we did training camp in Mexico City?
What if we have training camp with the Kremlin? Like, hey guys, come on out and support your Chiefs. St. Joe's week 1, the Kremlin week 2. Come on out. We're the world's team.
Instead of a training camp, they do a training tour, right? So you know how a lot of the basketball team, I feel like it was like in the 90s.
Storming tour, yeah.
Yeah. They do those tours in Europe a little bit, the Paris trips, but that's what the Chiefs just go around and they just do training camp in a bunch of different European locations.
How do you feel? How about a training camp in Senegal? And then just move over like Kenya. Just like hit all the continents. We're coming to you.
Peru.
Don't worry about it.
On the Panama Canal.
Why not? They're coming over on a cruise ship that Clark's just painted like red and gold with a massive arrowhead on the side. Here come the Chiefs steaming into your location. Like just, I honestly believe if he could do it, he'd do it. Like they just have like a 3-month long camp where they just took like breaks in between. Like, that's all right. Stick him in like in a motel, like a hostel.
We're giving him too many ideas. We can't. We're too many.
Like, all right, good.
It's like, wow, I really like that.
Can we televise one of those? Can we get TV rights? Will High V back us? Will they back this play?
Amazon Prime is drooling over this opportunity. Also, Kay Adams had what's his name? He's like the VP of something on.
Yeah, from the NFL.
Yeah, that guy.
I think he's talking about.
They had him on, and basically,
Cowboys.
Yeah, he's like, the Cowboys stink. The Chiefs are good. It's no surprise that the Chiefs have a lot of these games. But then he said something in there. He's like, yeah. The Chiefs, like, we knew that the Chiefs volunteered for Christmas, and Amazon was just like, yes, please.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So like they volunteered, and Amazon said, thank you, we will take that. No take backs. We're taking that. We want the Chiefs. Amazon, two places that really love their bottom line, Amazon and the Kansas City Chiefs, a match made in heaven.
Clark was like, what do you guys think about? Can we run the Hallmark movie in the afternoon on Amazon? I just stream it nonstop.
Right.
And then just lead right into the Denver game. Yeah, I'm surprised the Chiefs didn't go for the daily double and play on Christmas Eve too.
It's true. Boxing Day, or wait, I guess Boxing Day is the day after Christmas.
Yeah, like let's just listen. Let's just lead right in, or maybe like get like 8 games, just all Hanukkah, like just boom.
Ooh, 8 crazy nights.
Yeah, like a quarter a night.
Yeah,
welcome back. It's night 3, and we're going to the second half of the first game of this double. Yeah, it'd be awesome. Just play it all the way through. I like my father texted me when he saw the schedule, and it was like, why don't they just play on Yom Kippur and be done with it? Like, how many other holidays can they find?
Yeah, I mean, they'll find them. Matt Derrick did a good tweet about all of the holidays that the Chiefs will be playing on, because there's a national day for every day of the year now, and he did that, and I thought that was pretty clever. So shout out Matt Derrick, love Matt, phenomenal guy. But you guys probably already know the schedule by now. Just quickly running through it here. Chargers of Brazil, week 1 on YouTube. Week 2, Philadelphia Eagles at home. That'll be on Fox, a 325 game. Sunday Night Football the next week in New York facing the Giants. Week 4, the Baltimore Ravens at Arrowhead, 325 kickoff on CBS. Week 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. That's in Jacksonville. Are they at half capacity yet? Is that this year they're at half capacity, or
Next year?
Next
But
week.
I mean, to be fair, they're typically at half capacity anyway.
Yeah, it's a great point. At Jacksonville, Monday Night Football, excuse me, for the Jacksonville Jaguars. That'll be on ESPN. Detroit, and then they get 3 straight home games, Matt. Weeks 6, 7, and 8. They have the Detroit Lions at home on Sunday Night Football. They have a noon Raiders game. Now, this is something we were wrong about. Both you and I were wrong about how many noon games that they were going to have.
Both stunned by. We were texting about this.
Yes, we were. Las Vegas Raiders noon on Sunday, October 19th, excuse me. Then they get the Commanders for a Monday Night Football. So 2 Monday Night Football games pretty early on in the season. Kind of makes sense because they have 2 Thursday Night Football games pretty late in the season. Nevertheless, they do get the Commanders. I think that'll be a really interesting game. And then they go to Buffalo week 9 to take on the Bills at 3:25 game on CBS. Week 10 bye week. I think that's a good bye week. Week 11 at the Broncos, 3:25 on CBS. Hosting the Colts on November the 23rd. That's week.
Chalk it up right now.
Yeah.
That's Jonathan Taylor for 230. Infuriating the entire game. Chiefs are playing in like the dime package the whole game.
I was right about this one though.
On the sideline.
That was a noon game. That was the one noon game I thought they were going to get was against the Colts. Sleepy game. It's a sleepy game already. You can tell.
Crowd's not into it at all. Just shows up like midway through the first quarter because they were out eating like brisket in the parking lot. Yeah.
Right. They forgot the game started at noon because they're so used to like 3:25. Yeah. The crowd is so used to 3:25 games at this point. They're like, oh wait, we forgot to go into the stadium. And then they go Thanksgiving right after that, 3:30, CBS against the Cowboys on the road. Next week they go back to Kansas City. They got 2 straight home games where they'll play the Texans on Sunday Night Football. In week 14, week 15, the Chargers at home. That's a noon game too. I was surprised that they gave that one a noon game as well at home at Arrowhead. Was kind of surprised by that one. Then they have another not home game, but they have another noon game at Tennessee on CBS week. I guess that would be 16, 15 at the Titans, and week 16 Broncos at home on Christmas. And they finish it out with the Las Vegas Raiders on the road, routed out in Vegas, which that game will probably not mean a whole lot towards anything seating-wise or implications. So you can probably assume that it'll be, because they do the Saturday, Sunday TBD timing, it'll probably be one of those like Sunday noon games. But Matt, overall thoughts on the schedule outside of like the holiday stuff? They get 7 primetime games. I don't think that's really a shock to anybody. I don't really mind the primetime games as much as I mind like the holiday scheduling. Right. Week 10 bye week, 7 primetime games. Overall thoughts on the schedule?
So really it's like 8 because they don't count Thanksgiving as a primetime game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So
it's a standalone game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's clearly. I mean, my God, that's going to have the biggest rating of any game they play all year long. So so they really have 8. Look, my thought on it is the Chiefs got a good bye week. They have 9 games before, 8 games after. I like the fact personally that they play the harder portion of their schedule early. Mm-hmm. I just think, and look, the Chiefs are included in this, but like the really good teams in the league, the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Lions, the Eagles, you're kind of using that time in the year to figure things out. Okay, we're good at this. We're not as good as that. We're going to work on this. All those teams know if they're healthy, they're going to the playoffs. Like, their urgency's not there as much. Now, with the Chiefs and the Bills, it might be a little bit because it's week 9. And, like, those 2 teams, it's just those games always mean something. All the Chiefs in the regular season basically are just always like, that's nice. We'll see you in January. But my biggest takeaway is the Chiefs don't ever play back-to-back road games.
Ooh.
The Chiefs never play consecutive road games on back-to-back weeks. The only time they play consecutive road games are weeks 9 and 11, Bills, Broncos, but the bye weeks in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
They're never on the road 2 weeks in a row. So I think for the Chiefs, that's a pretty good deal. Also, between weeks 2 and 8, they play 7 games. 5 of them are at home.
Yeah.
And the 2 road games are the Giants and the Jags. Now, they're hard home games. They're Baltimore, they're Washington, Philadelphia, Detroit, but you're at home a lot in that stretch.
Yeah.
I also like the fact for the Chiefs that in that stretch, they're playing a lot of tough teams. It's like every other week they play a tough team.
Yeah.
Eagles week 2, Giants week 3, Ravens week 4, Jaguars week 5. Lions week 6, Raiders week 7. Like, there's never a stretch where, man, they have 4 games in a row where they're facing major heat. And, I think there might be some people out there who go, well, this year they have 9 at home and 8 away, so they're not going to have a road trip. Baltimore has 3 games in a row in the middle of the season.
True.
Buffalo plays 4 out of 5 on the road late in the year. The Chiefs don't have anything like this. There's no 4s out of 5. I could be wrong. I'm not looking at it. I don't even think they played 3 weeks out of 4 on the road at any point in the season.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it. I'm kind of looking at it laid out here. Yeah,
4 out of 6 at home late in the year.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And then the last thing I would point out, all their road divisional games are all buttressed by advantages for Kansas City. So the road game against the Chargers, obviously in Brazil, you have all summer to get ready for that game.
Right.
The road game against the Broncos, which I think is the toughest game in the division, you're coming off your bye week.
Yeah.
And then the last game of the year is at the Raiders, which either means nothing, or if it means something to the Chiefs, probably means nothing to the Raiders. And you'll have 80% of that crowd being red.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, I actually yes, they play a lot of primetime games. It's a tough schedule because it's a first place schedule and the division's halfway decent. I think for the Chiefs, I think it's a pretty good draw, man. I don't think it's that bad. I also would say, I think there's a world they come out and beat Denver out of the bye. They might not lose a game after the bye week. Look at who they're playing.
Yeah. So, they beat Denver. Then they have Indianapolis and Dallas, which Dallas doesn't look like they're going to be very good. Houston, who the hell knows what their offensive line's doing?
On a Sunday night in December.
Yep. And for a dome team. Then you have the Chargers at home, which we'll see how that team develops. At the Titans, who have a rookie quarterback. Then you have Denver at home.
On a short week.
On short week. And then you go to Vegas, which is a stadium where Patrick Mahomes has legitimately never lost it.
Yeah, and you have extra rest going into that game and everything
because
else.
Of the Christmas.
Right. I mean, I just think, look, there's 8 games after the bye. If they're healthy and play well, they should, at worst, in my opinion, be 7-1.
Yeah.
I already saw they're 4.5-point favorites in that Thanksgiving Day game.
I saw that they already have lines out for all these games, and I said, if you're already betting future lines for this, you need to call.
You probably ought to go to a group.
Yeah, call the number.
Hey, listen. It's okay. We all call sometimes.
Look, I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you about DraftKings Pick 6. You go ahead and call that number at the end of that ad read. I'll leave it there for you. You can call that
over the screen.
Put it if you're already betting on future games that haven't that are months away from happening. I like win totals though. I'm curious to see what the Chiefs win total will be. I'm sure I can find it on our friends at DraftKings Sportsbook what they'll have it at. But
win totals?
Yes.
You look that up. I'm going to look up the odds for all the games that the Chiefs are in.
Yes, go ahead and do that. I know that there was a graphic going around and banners were being hung because the Bills. The Bills are not underdogs in any of their games. Shout out to the Buffalo Bills. Go ahead, give them their claps, give them applause.
Remember a couple of years ago when they hung that banner in their training facility at the Lombardi?
Yeah.
Did they just solemnly take that down?
They did, because the next year wasn't there. It's just we should probably not. We should probably not do that.
All right, so I've got it in front of me.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know because I found this on Reddit. Let me see. Who is there? I see here. What is this from? What? Okay, this is from DraftKings Sportsbook.
Good. Our good partners, our good friends. Yes.
So, and this was posted on a tweet on Thursday morning. So maybe the lines moved. I can't imagine they moved.
If they moved, I mean, man,
if they moved, people. We need a bigger group. Okay, we need a bigger room. All right. Lines are shifting. Oh my God, are they seriously? All right. So the Bills are favored in every single game this year.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah. The Chiefs, by the way, have had that happen a few times recently.
Last year, I mean,
I think you're right. I think it was last year.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to take a guess, just off the top, how many games out of their 17? How many games are they favorites in?
Are the Chiefs favorites in?
Mm-hmm.
16.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, what's the game they're not favored in? The Eagles?
Buffalo.
At Buffalo. Okay, so they're favored against the Eagles, but not favored against Buffalo. Interesting.
Correct.
Okay.
So the way it shakes out, are you a big lines guy?
Eh,
All right. So I won't make you guess on that.
I understand. So I understand it. Like home field, they usually get, or at least in college football, it's usually about 3 points for home field advantage.
NFL.
Yeah.
Rough.
I don't know how much that weighs into the NFL home field advantage, but
okay.
Go ahead.
So here we go. So these are the lines for that per DraftKings at this point. Chiefs are a 3-point favorite against the Chargers week 1.
Yep. Okay.
1.5 favorite week 2 against Philly.
Okay.
6.5 point favorites on the road against the Giants. 1.5 point favorites at home against Baltimore. 4.5 point favorites on the road against Jacksonville. 3-point favorite at home against Detroit, which I found interesting. If you're giving them 1.5 with Baltimore and Philly, I was like, okay. And by the way, that's not disrespect to the Chiefs. You're out there like, why aren't they getting 3? The Bills are 1.5 point favorites at home against Baltimore.
Right. Yeah.
So, take that for what it's worth. The Chiefs are 9.5 point favorites at home against the Raiders and 3.5 against Washington. They are 2.5 point dogs in Buffalo, so not a full 3. Then they had the bye. They're 1.5 point favorites on the road in Denver. The 9.5 point favorites against Indianapolis. 5.5 against what's week 13? That's Dallas. So 5.5. So the line's moved. The line has shifted from 4.5 to 5.
Wow.
Oh my God. People are like, we're not waiting to bet against Dallas. We refuse. So that's 5.5. Then they've got that's hilarious. 5.5 against Houston, 4.5 against the Chargers, 7-point favorites in Tennessee, 4.5 point favorites against Denver at home, and 6-point favorites in Vegas. So the Chiefs are favorites in every game but the Buffalo game. Baltimore is a dog twice. Which is kind of wild if you consider that division. Is there anybody who's a dog in every game?
The Titans, maybe?
No. Titans are favored a couple times. Browns are favored once. Saints are favored once. Giants are favored once. Jets are favored twice. That would probably cover it.
Yeah, I think that
nobody else is going to be bad enough to.
Right.
The Panthers are favorites 3 times. Okay.
That's interesting. I guess it would. Now that I think about it, my guess of the Eagles game being the one that the Chiefs were not favored in when they have the Buffalo Bills on the schedule, the Bills are favored in every game was probably a bad guess on my part. I didn't use any deductive reasoning there.
I do think it's interesting, though, that the Bills are a 1.5 point favorite against the Eagles at home and the Ravens at home, which is the exact same thing the Chiefs are.
Yeah.
But then they're 2.5 point favorites over the Chiefs. Maybe that's just because Vegas is factoring in the Bills. It always seems like they just beat the Chiefs in the regular season, that the Chiefs beat them in the play. That makes sense. I could see that.
Yeah.
Are the Raiders favorites? Yeah, the Raiders are favorites 4 times.
Oh, how about that? Well, they do play the NFC East. They do play the Giants. So
they do. That is fair.
The Giants right now, looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, their win totals, over under 5.5 wins for the Big Blue.
Oh, dude, have you seen their schedule?
Yeah.
No shot.
It's brutal. They're they could be 0-9. Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah. The Chiefs right now, they have them sitting at 11.5 wins. I personally would hit that over.
I feel like it's a really easy pick. Look, not that we're not professional gamblers here.
Not gambling advice. Go ahead and get that out there. But yeah.
Okay, so if you look at Mahomes' career as a starter, I mean, forget his rookie year.
Yep.
In his 16-game schedule, if you said the number's 11.5?
11.5, yep.
Okay.
12 wins
hits the over in 2018. Easily, well, I shouldn't say easily hits the over, but hits the over in 2019. And he was hurt, and they had a 16-game schedule.
Yep.
Easily hit the over in 2020. Then you go into the 17-game schedules. 2021, they went 12-5. 2022, they went 14-3. 2023, that would be the only under, and they went 10 and. Oh, is that right?
10-6 and 23.
They went 11-6 in 23. They went 11.
Oh yeah, sorry. This is his record. Yeah, he missed a game.
And then last year they went 15-2.
Yep.
So like, it feels like that is a really, really easy bet to make. Plus, on top of that, I know they have some hard teams on their schedule. They've got a lot of teams on this year that you look at and you're like, I get it. They can lose any game, but like, are you really picking them? Like deep down, are you really picking them to lose to anybody in the AFC South? Are you really picking them to lose to anybody with like the Raiders? Are they really losing those games?
So look, I mean, you just talked about after the bye week, if they could win all the games after the bye week.
Yeah, like Dallas, the Giants. Like there's like 8 or 9 games on their schedule. You're pretty much like, if they don't play like crap, they're winning. So let's even work off 9 games. Okay, so you got like the Raiders twice.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the whole AFC South. That's 6 games. Dallas, the Giants, and then let's just say like the Chargers at home or something.
Yeah.
If you then split the other 8 games, it includes the Chargers again, Denver twice, like the Commanders at home. You're 13-4.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you lose some stupid game you should win, you're still 12-5. Like, yeah, I feel like that's a bet on if Mahomes plays 17 games.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like, you're winning.
Yeah.
I don't gamble, A, just because I don't like to gamble. B, because I feel like if I have like inside knowledge, like if the guy's hurt or something, like it's just not right. Like I just won't do it.
Right.
I had a buddy years ago who loves to gamble. And he asked me, like, give me an over-under you think's a lock. And it was the year Urban Meyer coached Jacksonville. And I was like, bro, the over-under 7.5. Hit the under aggressively.
Yeah.
And they played the Texans in week 1 with like Davis Mills. Oh, yeah. And Davis Mills smoked them.
Uh-huh.
And he called me like drunkenly celebrating. It's like, I'm gonna win. I was like, oh, bro, you're gonna win. They cashed that. I forget which book he used. They literally cashed that bet for him in like week 5. They
insane.
just wanted to bet it again. They're like, no, you win. We'll just give you the money.
That's insane.
Easiest money anybody's ever made.
Yeah, that was a pretty. They made Davis Mills look like they made the Texans think that, hey, maybe Davis Mills can be our starting quarterback next year too. That was crazy. Yeah, I think the Chiefs have a good shake. They get a good schedule. We'll take a break here in a little bit. I'm sure you guys are tired of schedule talk. It's like the only thing we have to talk about. But there's some juicy stuff hitting the interweb. Seth Wickersham has a book coming out. He wrote an article about what's going on. Actually, you know what? I'll say it. It worked on me. The marketing work. I'm probably going to get the book now because of the article that was written about the Bears and Caleb Williams. And also there's something else that the players or the owners are set to vote on. We'll talk about that coming on after this.
Shop Chiefs tickets and more with no fees. Plus save big with code KCSN at ticketsforless.com, the official ticket provider of KC Sports Network.
Success in real estate takes more than vision. It takes the right financial partner. When someone takes something rundown and turns it into something great, that's called a comeback story. Like Brain Group. They take distressed properties here in KC, completely rework them, and then turn them into valuable real estate. But that kind of work needs the right bank behind it. Enter Emprise Bank. They're not about cookie-cutter loans. They saw Brain Group's vision, backed them, and now they're making big moves in Kansas City real estate. Talk about your partner in possible. Emprise doesn't do one-size-fits-all financing. They invest in potential and back growth. Visit emprisebank.com/KC to learn more. Emprise Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's playoff time, and if you're still just watching games, then you're missing out. With Pick 6 from DraftKings, you can turn your hoops knowledge into real cash. Just make your picks, track your score, and if you hit all 6, you're looking at bigger payouts than Prize Picks Flex Plays. Nobody's dropping better payouts than Pick 6. Hit 6 picks, and that's 25 times your cash. And if you beat your competitor, you could be looking at a 500 times bag in your pocket. And right now, new customers get $50 in bonus picks with just a $5 entry. The playoffs are on, so why not take a shot at making a little money while you're watching? Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app right now and use code KCSN. That's code KCSN to play $5 and get $50 in bonus picks. Better payouts, bigger wins, only on Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 bonus picks that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. Terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. I forgot to say Chiefs.
Cheers.
I went back to go say Chiefs, and the video already played.
Great job, man.
We're all on our A game today. Also, speaking of A games, the Chargers release video was so good. I don't know which video you thought was good. I think that the Chargers are always like the top of the top. Like that's always like the
standard.
Yes. Like, you always look forward for the Chargers one. They just do social media so well. That's about the only thing that the Chargers organization does do well is social media. They do social media incredibly well. Any other ones that stood out to you?
Oh, yeah. First of all, shout out to my guy, Gilberto Manzano, who I work with, one of our 4 national guys. He did a digital cover for us where he broke down, like, how social media teams in the NFL live for that day.
Right.
Great. If you haven't read it, honestly, I'm not chilling for SI. It's a great piece. Kudos. Like it was so good. I called him actually. Terrific piece. Yeah, the one that stood out to me was the one that had to be deleted because it might cause a lawsuit, which is the Colts. That video. Did you see that thing?
So I didn't. My best friend is a Colts fan.
Very sorry.
Yeah, he was originally a Rams fan and decided when they left St. Louis.
God.
Yeah,
what happened?
Right. Well, he decided when they left St. Louis, I hate this Kroenke guy, so I'm gonna change teams.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bad move.
Tough.
So he went to Jim Irsay.
Yeah, it's also really funny. His final 2 teams, the Colts and the Lions. He could be in a lot better spot right now. Who would have thought it would have been the Lions? Tough. Andrew Luck was the quarterback when he said he was going to be the quarterback.
Chiefs.
He doesn't like Kansas City.
Listen,
there's a beef between St. Louis and Kansas City, and I understand because I'm not going to cheer for a St. Louis team.
I'm going to say this right now as someone who does not have any ties to Missouri other than the fact I grew up rooting for the Chiefs. I've been to St. Louis. People in St. Louis should be thankful that there's another city in Missouri to look at as like the bastion of Mizzou, because Kansas City, great city. I genuinely love going to Kansas City. Just a lot of good spots, good food, good play, like just good hang.
Mm-hmm.
I will never forget going to St. Louis. They were having training camp there, and my best friend is a Rams fan still. And so I was like right out of college. So we're like, oh, we'll go to Rams camp, no, we'll go to Chiefs camp.
Yeah.
We go to Rams camp. There was a day off. So we're like, what the hell? We'll go look around St. Louis, go to the Arch, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up getting like not lost, but like we just ended up off the beaten path. There are parts of St. Louis that are like abandoned, like literally, honest to God, like they just gave up on it.
Yeah.
We got to a train station. We're looking at this map through plexiglass, and I'm like, what is going on with this glass? Like, what? We stepped back, 3 bullet holes in it. And I was just like, this is a disaster of a city. Yeah. What is going on? Down near the ballpark, fine.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, I'm sorry, anybody listening from St. Louis right now, if you're firing off an angry tweet at me, listen, I'm not coming for you. I'm telling you, you could do better. You could do better. And so if that guy could have upgraded, not even just team wise, but just like in general, could have just associated himself with Kansas City. So it's a missed opportunity.
For sure. No, it is. And look, I understand, having your team leave your city can't be very great. And there's just a rivalry between Kansas City and St. Louis. As much as St. Louis doesn't like to acknowledge it, Kansas City is a far superior city. I think it's growing a lot faster than St. Louis is as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of geographical and geopolitical rivalries going on there with the two largest cities in the state. Nevertheless, I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, the Colts video. Yeah, that's right. So I got sent. That was the first one actually I got sent. And like I'm a big Minecraft guy, man. I don't know if I've talked to you much about that. Like I've played Minecraft since like it came out in 2011. So like I still play it to this day. So like I know a lot of kids play it, and like the Minecraft movie came out and targeted for kids. Fine. I enjoyed both of the Minecraft themed videos just because of I play the game. The Chargers and both the Colts did a very good job of hiding different Easter eggs in their video. I did see the salvage video of somebody eventually downloaded it. But what I read and what I saw, I think Awful Announcing also reported this as well, is that it might have been more of a worry with Microsoft rather than Tyreek Hill at the beginning of like him getting arrested. Of like because at the beginning of the Chargers one, they had like a disclaimer that was like, hey, this is all like creative use. None of this is actual gameplay. And they had like a whole disclaimer at the front end of their video. The Colts did not. So I wonder if that also played into like the legalities of it. But also Tyreek Hill being like, hey, that was funny. You shouldn't have deleted that. It was awesome.
Yeah, I also like they had Mahomes as like a frog, and then they had his father fighting John Rocker in the video. Like, listen, I'm all for a good joke.
Yes,
but like, yeah, maybe okay.
The Chargers had Chiefaholic in there. I did see that.
That's hilarious.
That's good. Yeah,
that's good. I'm all for that.
He got 32 years. You see that? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did not talk about it, but I saw that.
Okay.
He went to big jail.
Did it for Nick Bolton, man. 32 years for old Nick Bolton. He had to get the big 32. I don't know what's worse, Matt, that has to be in prison for 32 years, or he has to be in Oklahoma for 32 years.
I mean, honestly, they can let him out, but if they should just, you know what, you really want to punish him? Hey, listen, you're getting 32 years in Oklahoma. You're like being geo-fenced. You can't leave the state.
That's
you do whatever the hell you want, right? Within the confines of the state. I feel like that's even worse.
Yeah.
Because then he's got to see what he's dealt with. You know?
Oh gosh. Let her have that teacher's credit union.
Oh, I thought about it'd be a great story. I'm going to pitch to SI the next time the Chiefs play a really big game. I'm just gonna go to the federal prison that he's in and just watch the game with him, and just just Chiefs from prison.
Wow, that would be a good story.
Great story, right? Like that's a great one. Like hang out with like the whole cell block, just watch the game.
Right. Make sure there's no murderers in there first.
Nah, I think maybe I could tell their story. You know, Johnny's in here on a bid that B&E gone bad,
right?
And big Cowboys fan. So Thanksgiving's going to get lively. Because somebody's going to get shivved. But in the meantime, I'm going to write this story. Sure, I'd be thrilled about that.
I'm sure they would. They got a good sense of humor, right?
Oh yeah, they're the barrel laugh and I'm just writing stuff. My editor's got a great sense of humor. I don't know that the real upper crust of the company is like, yeah, let's write about a guy getting shivved in cell block B over the coin toss. But I would write that story hard.
Coin toss. No, that would be a pretty good one. The Falcons had a good one. I think that's about it. I think that's all the only ones that really stuck out to me. The Rams, they had Brenda Song in there. It's a good skit. Any other ones stood out to you?
No, I think that's probably it.
Yeah. Shout out to those social media teams though, because this is like the biggest day of the year for those guys, which is it's cool. It's always cool to see the creativity that comes with the schedule release and all the videos. Chiefs did a little bit of a cash cab one as well. As a fan of cash cab, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, good job.
Yep. All right, let's talk about the
best one ever was the one that Titans did like a year or two ago.
Yeah, it was just having random people.
He shows random people the logos of these teams. Oh my god! Dude. And then they like the like with the Fox NFL music. Oh god, that's one of the. It's hard to get me to really laugh. The first time I saw that, I was in tears.
That was yeah. That was incredible. And they tried to do it like the year after and it like wasn't as good. It was just something about like they had the right formula. It was like the timing of the video too. Because I don't think the video was like too wildly long either.
No, it was like
Like,
a minute and a half or something.
I think that helped. Good timing, good pacing. It hit at the right time. Yeah. No, and then you've seen a lot of people try to copy it for just a bunch of other things now too.
Yeah.
As well. So
Very
good.
Williams.
Yeah. Let's talk about Caleb Williams because Caleb Williams and his father and I should just say the Caleb Williams party did not want to go to Chicago, according to a Seth Wickersham report. I don't think that that's too big of a shock because I remember when he was coming out, people were like, "Oh, should he try to figure something out to do to not go to the Bears?" Because I think that was talked about. Ultimately, he was worried about the development that he would see in Chicago and with the regime that they had, with everything going on there. It sounds like that he even lawyered up, that he was preparing to take other avenues of trying to even force the Minnesota Vikings to trade with the Chicago Bears. But nevertheless, the Bears persisted and selected Caleb Williams, which there is a quote in the story later on where Caleb, after meeting Ryan Poles, and I think it was on a top 30 visit pre-draft, that he said that like, yeah, I can do this. I think I can turn this around. But a lot of people are sticking to the fact that Caleb Williams lawyered up and tried to find ways to escape Chicago.
Listen, there is nothing funnier than the fact that Caleb Williams and his father was so desperate not to go to the Bears, they thought about getting legal counsel.
Yes.
And if that didn't work, he's playing in the UFL.
Right. Imagine playing for the San Antonio Brahmas, man.
That is wild. Like, you know how much you have to hate that team to do that? I will say this. Listen. His father stopped talking.
Right. Yes.
My God, man. I don't know Caleb Williams or his father at all, but I will say, just from a 30,000-foot view, if you're the parent of a prominent pro athlete, shut up. Like, publicly, just stop talking. Like, it's one thing if you're like Donna Kelsey and like everything's just like hunky dory and it's awesome and fine. Okay. Like, there's no downside to that.
Yeah.
Like, you do not need to be prominently involved. It's like when Odell Beckham's dad was tweeting out like screenshots of all 22 when he was on Cleveland. Like, he's wide open. Like, thanks. I got it. Like, thanks for the help. I'm sure Kevin Stefanski had no idea. Maybe it had to do with the fact there's no quarterback.
Right.
It's if I'm Caleb Williams, because most, if not all, those quotes were all from his father.
Right. Yes.
I would be irate. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How in God's name does that benefit anybody? You saying all this stuff now. You didn't go to Minnesota. If you went there, fine, man. Go nuts. The problem is you get these people who are just, hey, I get 5 minutes of, somebody's interested in hearing what I have to say, and they will just talk. That is a problem. I will tell you, there are people in the league who have a problem with verbal diarrhea. There have been times where I've asked somebody who's a source of mine something, and they will say wild stuff. And then you're like, okay, I can't print that without checking with about 4 other people. Because, it'll get clicks, but then it's going to be refuted by everyone in the world because this person just wants their time to shine. Like, Wickersham must have been like, this is the greatest moment of my life. I mean, this guy is just teeing off on the Bears. I'm going to be at Bears OTAs next week, so that'll be fun. But Caleb, how upset are you? You're not in Eagan, Minnesota right now. But look, I think if he plays well, like Bears fans, like, they're not going to care. It'll just blow over. But if I were the Bears, I would sit down, Caleb, and be, you need to tell your father, like, that's enough out of you. Okay, we don't need like Mr. Halliburton, the sequel over here. Like, that's enough out of you. It's kind of like when, this is, I know, a little touchy, but like when Mahomes' brother was in the headlines and it was becoming a thing where he was often in the headlines. You ever notice that after that happened, he was a lot less visible at Arrowhead Stadium moving forward? And like, I'm not saying that like the Chiefs are like, he can't come here. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is I think there was an effort made at a certain point in time, like, okay, look, not saying he can't come to the games, but like that's enough. Like it's not a good look. And I think there are sometimes like, and it's not, hey, listen, obviously it's not a one-off. Like a lot of people, you have family members who just they have a little camera time.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And with Caleb Williams' dad here, bro, it's enough out of you. Like you are not helping your kid by doing this. There is no upside to doing what you're doing.
It was very interesting to see. I do wonder. I mean, obviously, Seth is using this as a promotion tool for his book. If you read the article, it's just like his book comes out in a couple months. Make sure to buy it. Read all about it. I think they also have they talk about Arch Manning and then the Manning family, how they're just kind of trying to, for lack of a better term, groom another NFL quarterback. And I think it's really interesting. I think the concept of the book is a very interesting concept. Just American Kings is what I believe it's called. Talking about,
and Seth is a terrific writer, so
phenomenal. Yes, he's very good at what he does. So like I'm sure that he's not like. Sure, he talked to more people than just Carl Williams, right? About the whole Williams family experience of going to the draft and everything like this, and it's not uncommon, right? Like Eli Manning did like the same thing when trying to control it, like teams that like he was trying to go. It's like this is not a new concept of like players not wanting to go to a team that has a number 1 overall pick. That's not a new thing, but you don't need to talk about it. Like I totally understand what you're saying. Just like, why are you talking about that now? He hasn't like necessarily done anything. And what I thought was more damning was more about the regime that they don't have anymore, right? Like it's not there for the best. But I think it was more damning for like Eberflus and the regime that they had of like Caleb Williams was like, I don't know what to do, and they would not give him any instruction, and that's bad. If you have the number 1 overall pick and you're not telling him what to do, that's
not good.
Yeah,
it's not good. No, it's listen. I've learned in the years, I've been fortunate enough to work, around or in however you want to term it, around the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, before I got to do that, and I was just a fan of the league, a fan of the game, I just always kind of assumed, well, if you're in the NFL, you are it. Yeah, you're the absolute apex as a coach, as a front office personnel man.
Right.
I am here to tell everybody watching this show that is not true.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that these people don't obviously know the game and like what needs to be done. The amount of coaches in the NFL who just flat out cannot convey what to do to their players, it is a staggering number. Okay? There are a lot of guys that got in the league because they rode somebody else's coattails in there. And then they're buddies and they're a good hang on the road and like that. There have been people who have become head coaches because of that. All right. Not some far-flung assistant. There have been guys who've gotten a head job because of that. There are people in front offices who just, they should not be running the team. Okay. I will say, and I obviously cannot go into great detail of this. Years ago, I had how can I word this? I had a prominent front office individual call me as part of a straw poll asking if they should pay a player $100 million. They were taking a poll on that. Okay. That stuff happens in the NFL. Like, I remember I was so uncomfortable answering that question. I was like, my God, am I the deciding vote if this guy's getting $100 million?
Like, the swing vote. Yeah, they call you.
Like, oh my God.
He's like, I need a swing.
Hey, let's Verderame. We got to know. And I can tell you, because it doesn't get anywhere, that player did not get $100 million. That player in his next contract did not get $10 million. Can you imagine if the people in that poll were like, yep. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Like, that stuff I think there is this general thought, like, oh, everybody knows what they're doing. No, they don't. Trust me, they don't. So I am not shocked that the Bears apparently just gave Caleb Williams a jump drive and were like, I don't know, figure it out. Good luck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not surprising.
They didn't really have any other backup quarterback there that was like a veteran backup though either. So like they just had Caleb Williams and they had
Tyson Bagent, right?
Tyson Bagent. Yeah. It's just like these two young guys, let's have them try to figure it out together. Yeah, not a great look for the Bears organization or that previous regime of the Bears, just say coaching staff, because it's not necessarily the regime because Ryan Poles is still there. The coaching staff, not a great look, but they do have, it seems like a much more competent coaching staff, at least with Ben Johnson now, which that team looks like they could be pretty good, especially on offense. They've got the bones. They look like they'll be solid in the trenches, and they've got some talent on the skill positions. Caleb Williams is going to need to figure it out on the offensive side of the ball. And look, they had a tough stretch there. Would they lose 10 straight to end the season or something like that? In the middle of the season, they lost 10 straight.
Almost, yeah, they won the last game of the year. But yeah, they went from like 4-2 to like 4-12.
Very quick.
That's a tough stretch. That is the definition of a tough stretch.
Yeah, so Caleb had a lot of stuff to deal with in that rookie year. But interesting to see how that's going to go over in Chicago when you're there next week. That'll be
good time.
That'll be an interesting one. Last thing to wrap up the show. We're not going to do power rankings today. I realized we forgot to decide on what we wanted to power rank on our show, but no power rankings today. Had a lot of other pressing things to get to. Albert Breer, your colleague, reported that the NFL owners are set to vote on a major change to playoff seeding and the Tush Push ban coming up in Minneapolis this next week. The NFL voters meetings pick back up. This could be the biggest change to postseason seeding in decades. So Detroit proposed this, I believe, at the last owners meetings, and it got pushed to this meeting. Their proposal would make the 4 division champions and 3 wild cards, each to make the playoffs, but each of those 7 teams would then be seeded strictly by record rather than assigning the top seeds to the division winners, which is how it's been done since the merger, with the wild cards to follow. So if the teams have the same record, being a division champion would be the first tiebreaker, regardless of head-to-head record. A change in Detroit's proposal for March, Beer writes, is for the teams then to be reseeded after the first round. So in this case, the number 1 seed would play the lowest remaining seed in the conference rather than correct, which is how it is now. This was pushed, I believe, in Detroit's proposal from when was that? Right after the combine, right? Is when those meetings were right before the draft. In the proposal, it would just be more of like a straight bracket setup. In this now proposal that's been changed, pushed to the owners, they go back to the reseeding, but the seeding overall is just seeding based off record, not by winning your division.
I'll be brief with this. I don't like it, not because it doesn't have some merit. I understand it.
Yeah.
The problem I have with it is, like, how many times do you really have a team that wins a division that team just shouldn't be in the playoffs? Like, not now. You could argue, hey, look, that team is 9-8 or whatever, and they shouldn't have a home game, and I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
My issue with it is, like, I am just a big believer. Then divisions should matter.
Yeah.
And if divisions don't matter, then here's my proposal: play 16 games in your own damn conference. Like, you just play one team, and everybody should play the same schedule. Because what I don't like about that is that then, to me, is bullshit. If you've got a team, like, let's take the NFC North. They're going to beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, what? The Bucks get to just waltz on in there after, plowing the Falcons, Saints, and Panthers for 6 games. To me, that's unfair. If you're going to do that, I'm fine with that. Then you need to make it even. Then if you're the Chiefs, let's say, you play the other, I guess it would be 15 games in your conference. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you have it where it rotates, like, which I know there's a little unfairness in this, but, like, okay, if you're a first place team, you play, the first place team in the NFC East and the NFC South one year. And then, like, it rotates through and you just keep it. Because I got to tell you, I don't think it's fair to penalize a team that, hey, yeah, you won your division and you went 10-7, but you're going to be a 5 seed because some wild card team came out of a division that everybody sucks, and you played some other division in the. Like, if you're in the AFC South and you're playing the NFC South, what, you deserve a better seed because you know what I mean? I just feel like that.
Yeah.
At that point, winning your division then means nothing. It doesn't matter.
Right.
That's the problem I have with it. If you're going to do that, then you might as well get rid of the division. What the hell is the point?
Right. And obviously this all stems from last year when the Vikings were a 14-win wild card team. Like this.
Who, by the way, got plowed by the Rams.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You win a home game, win your division.
Go do your job, win the damn division.
It's this freaking participation award generation. Yeah, once we're coming up here, wanting everybody to have equal fairness. I couldn't even get through that. I couldn't even get through that with a straight face. I was gonna try to really lean into it, but I couldn't even get through it without.
I'm a big anti-participation trophy guy. Like once you get to age like 9, I mean, I'm not saying for some like 5-year-old kid, but
yeah,
when you get to like maybe you don't even say 10, 5, stop giving everybody a medal and a trophy, okay? Because then nobody's a winner,
right?
And nobody's incentivized to actually do better. Stop it.
When you start having like kid pitch baseball, like if another kid's pitching to you, you don't get a participation trophy anymore. If you're playing on basketball, sometimes for kids basketball they'll play like the width of the court, right?
Yeah,
they'll do like the 2 court. If you then start to play on the full court, stop. You don't need a participation trophy. If you start to play on the full field, now baseball's a little bit different because the bases come in a little bit more. If you're playing, pitch, like I said, coach pitch, you're playing football on flag football might be a little bit different, but still.
Dude, I'm anti-silver and bronze medal.
That's only gold.
I mean, look, why are we celebrating the second loser? I mean, first loser's bad enough, but then that guy's coming into town with his bronze medal. Like, I did it. Hey.
It's like Jordan Hudson.
Yeah, care about the get out. It's third place medal. Hey, that to me is just. I mean, I'm somewhat being tongue in cheek. If you're in the Olympics and you get a silver medal, like that's one thing. Okay, I'm not.
Right.
I'm talking about these people who play like okay. I play pickleball all the time. These people who play like local pickleball tournaments, like I won bronze. Shut up. Are you kidding me? You're gonna put that on you're gonna hang that around your like rear view mirror. Yeah, I did it. Like I won a silver medal probably like 6 months ago. You know where that is? It's hanging off my daughter's backpack because she thought it was cool looking. Fine.
Yeah.
If it's not gold, it's always first of all. I'm 36 years old. Even if it's gold, I'm giving it to my kids. All right. But like, if it's not gold, there are people who walk around with their pickleball bags and like they have all the medals hanging off of them and they're all silver and bronze. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. It's wild.
How many teams were in the tournament? Oh, 5. I'm like, so you didn't even finish in the top half. Your bronze medal. The fuck out of here. And it's such a disgrace. It's like I always tell people as a joke, I finished top 10 in my class in high school, which is true. I was 9th. And people are like, oh, wow, really? I'm like, yeah, I graduated 43 kids. I wasn't even in the top 20%. I was a dope. Okay? So let's not, it's like if somebody from my class was like, I'm a valedictorian. Okay, cool. At least you're a valedictorian. You're number 1. You're a salutatorian. 2 out of 43.
Yeah.
I mean, half those kids were baked out of their minds the whole the 4 years of high school. You basically were 2 out of like 20.
Yeah.
All right. Let's not get too excited about the fact that you aced AP English and it's 6 other kids. Let's not start celebrating things that aren't really victories.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair. That's all we could ask for. But I also think that's going to do it for this week's edition of That Football Show. This wonderful weekend edition. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out with us and talking some ball. I did see in the comment section that ball knowers is getting more widely accepted, or at least more vocal people of being ball knowers is being.
People are going to accept it in their hearts whether they like it or not.
Yeah, you guys are going to know ball. Whether you like it or not, we're going to make sure you guys know ball. You are a ball knower. Thank you all to hanging out. Thank you to Ben Holiday Bottled and Bomb Bourbon. Gonna crack some open here. Didn't finish the bottle necessarily when I saw that the holiday came out, so I got to finish the rest of this bottle. With the Chiefs schedule out, we'll be back next week with our 2 episodes a week. Who knows what we'll talk about? I'm sure we'll remember to power rank next week. We'll see if that's how that works. But for Matt Verderame, I'm Tucker Franklin. Thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end of the podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. 1 like equals 1 participation trophy for you watching this podcast. Appreciate you guys. As always, the ball knowers are the best. We will talk to you guys on Wednesday.